How to use the 2023 recession to get rich in wholesaling real estate. Guys, it's Rick Ginn, and in this video, I'm going to teach you the 5 things I learned from the previous recession so you can avoid the heartache, and more importantly, how to make the shift going into this market so you can be successful in wholesaling real estate. But before I get into it, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to continue to receive the absolute best up-to-date information on wholesaling today. So the really cool part about me shooting this video is I've lived it. So from 2007 to 2010-11, I thought I was living a nightmare. I was a new wholesaler just coming off 2 of my greatest years of business ever. I finally got financial freedom. I got freedom on my time, and then the market shifted. And I didn't really make the necessary pivots I needed to make to be successful. And for about 2 to 2.5 years, I learned the hard way, some hard lessons. And what I want to do is use this as a learning tool so you guys can see that history tends to repeat itself. It never identically repeats itself, but the same pattern happens. So I'm going to walk you through the 5 things I learned back from 2007 to 2012. And I'm telling you, you are going to see the exact same things hold true today. So take notes. I promise you this will help you out a lot. So first thing, whenever a real estate market is dropping and we have interest rates rising, which are buying out more drivers because the cost of getting a mortgage is costing more and more, which basically drives down the end price for real estate. And what happens is it's been so robust for the last 3 years, especially, honestly, the last 10 or 12 years, that most people active in real estate right now has never seen this correlation where prices drop and inventory levels rise. And to be honest with you, a lot of people panic. And what you need to understand is there's a thing what we call dog tailing. And dog tailing, if you can visually picture it, it's when your dog, at least my dog does, he spins around and keeps constantly chasing his tail. Well, the fundamental rule applies here. He can't catch his tail ever. Very few times. Some dogs can, but my dog can't. And they keep going and going. And because they can't catch the tail, they wear themselves out and eventually they give up. And that's what's going to go on in real estate in all of 2023. See, because someone makes a decision to sell their property and they're looking at yesterday's pricing in real estate, which we call dog tailing, and they go, well, I'm going to list it for $220,000, even when the property's only listed $200,000, because that's what everyone's done for the last 3 to 4 years. And what happens? It goes on the market 30 days. There's no offer, and then the realtor goes, we just need to do a slight reduction, and maybe they go down to $219,500. And then another 2 weeks goes by and the seller says, listen, we're getting no action. And then they reduce it to $209,995. And then another 2 weeks to a month goes by and the homeowner goes to the realtor like, what do I need to get sellers? Go, listen, it was only worth $200,000 to when I listed it. We shot for the moon. We didn't get it. So if we list it at like $199, we should get the action it needs. The problem is if prices are dropping between 1% and 2% per month, you're constantly chasing yesterday's prices. This is called dog tailing. And what happens is the seller eventually gets worn out. They have fatigue from listing their property and eventually they give up. They stop chasing their tail and they sell it for what the property is worth on the market. Now, we are still in the beginning stages of dog tailing, in my opinion. And this is going to go on well through summer, if not fall, and all of 2023. So plan on it. So you have to understand is dog tailing is real. It is a seller's mindset. And until they get the reality of what's going on in our current economy, what's going on in the real estate market, they're going to dog tail till they fatigue. When they fatigue, that is when you can do your best. But the problem is, like, how long can we wait? Understanding if dog tailing is going on, you can only buy properties for what they're worth today. Stop worrying about what it was worth yesterday, a year ago, or where it's going to. You have to understand you have to buy deals based on today's dollars. Do not look at any other time frame. If you do, you will get killed in this market. Step number 2, only buy quality deals. You can no longer reach for the stars and hope for the best. The reality is if you buy quality deals You can spend time to sell to cash buyers and give them the discounts they want. And by doing quality deals only, you're not wasting your time on deals that are falling apart. If prices are continually dropping 1 to 2% per month, which they're on that pace right now, you have to have quality deals. So if it doesn't meet your threshold, move on. You cannot waste time on marginal deals because marginal deals really turn the bad deals. Recognize that and understand that and stick to your guns. Number 3, this is an important one. Speculators get killed in down markets. You know why? Because they're still operating off yesterday's business model where everybody overbidded. Nobody cared what the discount was. And I'm here to tell you, those are what we call would-be wholesalers. They were never wholesalers to begin with. Actually, most wholesalers in the last 2 years that were trained in this business were never trained on the core of wholesaling, which is buying for today's prices, finding cash buyers and passing down the discounts, and everybody makes money. They turn into realtor mode. And when you turn into realtor mode, you get into speculation mode. I'm here to tell you, fix and flippers get killed in these down markets. Do not join the crowd. Make sure you stick to the core basics of wholesaling to ultimately protect your business, because if you do any type of speculations, fix and flips, and you don't know what you're doing, I'm here to tell you those are the ones that get hurt the worst. Stick to wholesaling. It works. Number 4, don't think you can time the market. We've already talked about the dog-tailing effect. The key with wholesaling is just get started, period. There is no timing the market. This is not like the stock market or anything else. And you guys know that any capital market, if you try to time, you will eventually get killed with it. Wholesaling works on the premise that you buy at discounted prices today. If you understand that, it's no difference if you bought a Rolex at a 50% discount. If the deal is there and the margins are there, then wholesaling works really well. What you don't want to be is a speculator guessing from a price for a year or two. It doesn't work in wholesaling, and please don't ever confuse wholesaling with like fix and flip speculators, because the reality is most fix and flippers are reliant on the market, and when the market goes down and they haven't worked into their numbers, they are stuck. Wholesalers never get stuck with market conditions, they just adapt. And because most properties weren't in and out less than 30 days, we don't have the same effect as speculators, fix and flippers. Guys, make sure you understand this difference. And number 5, the last and most important one, is stay disciplined. You have to stay away from the shiny object syndromes. When people try to show you all these cute little techniques to where you can control properties and not actually own it, if it's not wholesaling, avoid it, because it's typically going to be out legislated, it's going to be frowned upon, and it's going to put you in a risky position. Wholesaling's been around for hundreds of years. It's not going to change. And if you want to truly help out motivated sellers, you will do very well in wholesaling. Stay away from the shiny object syndrome. They are repackaging all wholesaling courses, all real estate courses, and putting on these fancy new names. Why? Because the new market really excites people and they think it's a shortcut. And I'm here to tell you, you're just going to waste time. Sticking to the core basics of wholesaling will get you through the 2023 recession. So let's talk about the pivots you need to make to be successful going into the 2023 recession, particularly in wholesaling real estate. So the first thing you need to understand is don't panic. Just don't panic. When people panic, when they run short of money, they do stupid things. So you have to plan this and run this as a business. So if you think of the famous quote from Warren Buffett is, when people are fearful, you need to be greedy. And when people are greedy, you need to be fearful. That still holds true today. Everybody's running away from real estate. Oh my God, the values are dropping. I can't afford to buy it. That means you need to be running towards it. Wholesaling, in my honest, humble opinion, is the greatest tool to weaponize for the 2023 recession, because you can buy properties at deep discounts, basically minimizing your risk and going out and finding cash buyers to take over your deals. Guys, don't panic. Do the opposite of what the crowd does, and you're typically heading in the right direction. So understanding that real estate, the inventory is going to rise, prices are going to drop, and there's going to be fear in the market. All that means is there's going to be more deals out there and more opportunities than ever. So it's going to be much easier to connect with motivated sellers. So you have to understand that you have to connect with the most highly motivated sellers out there. So the key to finding motivated sellers is really simple. Go over to freewholesaling.com. We teach you how to do it. You need to attack government lists, which are free. They're going to be your probates, your evictions, your pre-foreclosures. You're going to chase down your fire damaged properties, your water shutoffs, and your tax delinquencies. Guys, these lists are free, and wherever there's smoke, there's fire. That's usually where the highest motivation, that's where you want to go. As far as the paid list, I would stick to the core basics that work. If you guys use these bigger software companies that we recommend, listrei.com, you get 10,000 leads per month. You get a 7-day free trial period. That's with PropStream, or you can go over to zachdata.com. We like to use batch as well. We're an equal opportunity. They both work well. Decide which one's the best fit for you, and make sure you utilize your 10,000 motivated seller leads per month. And guys, you have the free version, you have the paid version. They both work well. Just decide which combination of them you want to use. So here's the last key strategy you have to understand going into wholesaling for 2023 is if you know there's going to be a plethora of deals and opportunities out there, you have to understand your ultimate customer is your cash buyer. So many gurus, so many coaches, mentors have taught over the last really 5 to 7 years that you don't have to worry about cash buyers. Don't ever think like you're an employee and you work for them. It's a ridiculous statement. They are your customers. And if you've burned them in the past, try to make amends or understanding you have to take care of people. Real estate is a relationship business. When you burn people, they don't want to work with you anymore, and they don't forget. So you have to do a thing what I call is cash buyer intel. And all that means is getting intelligence from cash buyers to find out what they're buying. Honestly, you're going to have to spend a lot more time with your cash buyers. Those of you that have blown them off the last 4 or 5 years, you're going to have to make this change because that was an unrealistic, sustainable market. And knowing the only way to buy properties at the right price is know what your cash buyers will pay for them, know the areas they're looking for, and know the price points that they want to attack. Once you know this information and you build relationships with them, you can actually have a great relationship with these customers. So the days of just dealing with motivated sellers and throwing stuff on the internet and having 15 cash buyers line up out the door, that was an anomaly, and it only happens in rare instances. So we have to go back to the basics. So the good news is more opportunity than ever. The pivot you need to make is you need to spend more time and gather cash buyer intel. Phone calls, you're going to have to bid for a cup of coffee. You might have to meet them over at the title company. You need to find out where your cash buyers are, because once you know what your customer wants, it's easy to go out and find the opportunities for them. And those that heed this warning and take this seriously and gather cash buyer intel are going to do the best in 2023. And guys, make sure you only buy from motivated sellers. You gather that cash buyer's intel and you stick to your guns on your numbers. Guys, these tips, the 5 tips I shared with you earlier, these are the ways how you really get rich in the 2023 recession using wholesaling real estate as your ultimate tool. Guys, let me know in the comments, have you learned from these 5 rules? Because I did, and I learned the hard way. And I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did. We are not smarter than the market, so we have to learn from our elders like me, from our past mistakes. Nothing's exactly the same in 2 markets, but you will see the same history and the same pattern. And it might work out in a different time frame, but I'm telling you, all these things will eventually come true. So guys, make the pivot, make the change. It's not hard. And remember, set your ego aside, be willing to learn. Go over to freewholesaling.com. We teach you in detail how to get not only your first deal, but earn your first $100,000 in wholesaling real estate. And guys, I really love sharing this information for me because my 20 years experience allows me to talk from wisdom. And I know a lot of you guys are nervous, but I'm here. You should be excited. This is the opportunity of your life. You just got to put the time in, learn this business, and be excited and have fun doing it. So guys, let me know in the comments if you're going to learn from my mistakes and you're going to use these tips to make that pivot for the 2023 market. And please, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to continue to receive up-to-date information from myself, from Zach, and we want to help you out in your wholesaling business. Guys, I appreciate your time. Go out there and get some deals. This is Rick Ginn, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.